I enjoyed making this easy and quick top. I enjoyed more wearing it.
Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. Today we will make a top, a simple top. I actually made this for my PhD defense and I enjoyed wearing it the day of my defense. As you can see, it is very classy but yet simple to make. I'm making a size S and I'll show you how I took the measurement so you can adapt it to your body size. I'll be using this yarn. It is the Elastico from Lana Crosa. The yarn is made of 96% cotton and 4% polyacrylic and it's about 160 meter. I will work the yarn with a 4mm crochet hook. It is actually recommended to use a 3.5 to 4.5mm hook. I will use a 4mm crochet hook. So we need a couple of measurements. The first one is the breast measurement, which is the measurement around your breast area. Take this measurement not too tight around your breast. You want to take it in a way that you will still be able to slide your palm through, so it shouldn't be too tight. For the rest of the tutorial, I will call this the B measurement. We will use this to define how wide we want our top to be. The second measurement that is needed is the length. This is how long you want your top to be. So take the measurement from your shoulder until where you want the top to end. I will call this the L measurement in the rest of the tutorial. Next measurement that we need is the arm space. For this, take the measurement around your shoulder. It shouldn't be too tight. You should take it in a way that you can still slide the tape around your shoulder. But this depends on how you want your top to be. You can make it looser if you want more space around your armpit. For the rest of the tutorial, I will call this measurement the A measurement. Once you have this measurement, we are ready to start. So let's get started. We will begin with a slip knot and then make a chain that will have the length of your burst measurements divided by 2. So take your burst, your B measurement, divide it by 2, and that will be the length of your foundation chain. Pay attention to make an even number of chains that is needed for the stitch that we are going to use, the Suzette stitch. So make an even number of chains, and once you reach your B divided by 2 length, I will meet you. Once you have your foundation chain, we will start row 1. Row 1 is going to be a row of single crochet, so skip the first chain. In the second one, make a single crochet and repeat single crochets across until you get to the end of row 1. Once your first row of single crochet is completed, we will chain 1, turn the work to start the second row, and for the second row we'll start with a single crochet in the very first stitch and then make a double crochet in the same stitch. So in that very stitch where we did the single crochet, insert the hook and make a double crochet. And this is how we make the Suzette stitch. Now we'll skip the next stitch, move to the following one, which means the second stitch you skip it, and then in the third stitch make the same thing, 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet in the same stitch. Skip the next stitch. In the following one, repeat the same thing, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet. So this is how the Suzette stitch works. You skip the next, in the following 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So you will make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet in the same stitch, then you skip the next one. Repeat this until you get to the last stitch where we'll make only a single crochet to close the row. After the last Suzette stitch, you have only 1 stitch left, then make a single crochet inside. And that is it for the second row, and this is what we are going to repeat all along. So chain 1, turn the work. In the very first stitch, make a single crochet, then a double crochet. Now we'll skip the next stitch, which was the double crochet of the previous row. We'll skip this stitch and work in this one. So looking at the stitch, you see that there is a downward side of it. That's where we are going to insert our crochet hook now. Make a single crochet and a double crochet. We skip the following stitch in the next one, which is the downward side of the next Suzette stitch. Make a single crochet and a double crochet. So that is it basically for what we are going to repeat until you reach a length, a bottom to top length of L minus A divided by 2. L being the total length that you want for your top, and A being the arm space that we took, the measurement that we took around the shoulder. So divide that measurement that we took around the shoulder, divide it by 2 and subtract it from L. So continue doing the Suzette stitch until you reach L minus A divided by 2. I made it to the length L minus A divided by 2. My L is 50 centimeters, A is 40 divided by 2, that is 20. So far I made 30 centimeters. Once you reach this level, the next thing to do is to identify your middle stitch. So check from the beginning to the end of your panel where the very middle stitch is. That's where I put my this blue stitch marker. Once you're there, chain 1, and we'll start making some decreases to create the straps and the neckline. Turn the work. After turning the work, start a single crochet that we will not finish. So right now you should have 2 loops on the crochet hook. Move to the next stitch, start a single crochet again, don't finish, you have 3 loops. Next stitch, same thing, start a single crochet, and this time we will close it. So we just made a reduction, and after this we will now continue with the stitch. So double crochet in that very last stitch where we just worked. So double crochet, and the stitch will continue as we were doing it for the previous rows. So you move to the you skip 1 stitch, move to the next one, and make 1 single and 1 double crochet in the same stitch. So we made 1 reduction. We will continue working our Suzette stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet in the same stitch until you get to 4 stitches before the stitch marker, the blue stitch marker that we put for the middle. Oops. So here I am, I have 4 stitches left and 2 Suzette stitch. Yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I will skip as usual. I just work 1 Suzette stitch. I will skip the next one. In the following where we have a single crochet, I will start making a single crochet, which I will not complete. Next stitch where there was a double crochet, start a single crochet, and in the very last stitch where the marker is, start a single crochet, and this time you close it. So we just made another reduction at the end of the row. Chain 1, turn the work, and for the second row we are not doing any decrease, so 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet in the same stitch. This means that we are actually making 1 decrease every other row, yeah, every second row. So 1 row of decrease, 1 row without decrease, until you do that until you reach a length of L minus SA. SA being the measurement from your shoulder to the start of your armpit. So repeat this, 1 row of reduction, 1 row without reduction, until you reach L minus SA. In my case, L is 50, SA is 11, so L minus SA is 39. So I'll continue working like this, 1 row of decrease, 1 row without decrease, until I reach a total length of 39 centimeters. When I reached my L minus SA, which is 39 centimeters, I reached my 39 centimeters, and now from here on, once you have your L minus SA length, you will continue working without reductions. So continue with the Suzette stitch until you reach your total length, the L length that you want for your top. So for me, I'll continue like this until I reach 50 centimeters. I reached my desired length. Now I will cut the yarn and fasten off. So we are done for 1 strap. Now we can start the second strap, and for the second strap, before starting it, check first in which direction your previous row was pointing. What I mean is, looking at my stitches, this is where the stitch marker for the middle is. My previous row was pointing to the left side, the left direction, which means that I should start working for the next row in the other direction in order to keep the same flow that we have for the stitch. If you pay attention, you see that we have for 1 row we have the stitch pointing to the right side, and for the next row the stitch points to the left side. Yeah, so just to maintain this flow of the stitch, I will turn my work, so pay attention to that. Yeah, to maintain the same flow for the stitch, I will turn my my work and reattach the yarn exactly where the stitch marker is. Well, after reattaching the yarn, we will make our first decrease here. So insert the crochet hook, start a single crochet, don't finish, move to the next stitch, insert the crochet, pull the yarn out, and a third time, and here we will close the stitch. So this is how we will make the reduction exactly the way we did it for the previous for the other strap. repeat the same thing here. So one reduction at the beginning and at the end of the row. You make the same number of reduction until you reach L minus SA, and then from there you continue without reduction. So the same thing we did on this side, repeat it on the other side. Once you finish the front panel, repeat the same thing to make the back panel. So front and back panel are identical. I have my two pieces ready, the front and the back panel. I already went ahead and sewed together the first two straps. I also sewed the sides on one side, so I'll show you how I did it. Start by reattaching your yarn. So insert your crochet hook in the very first stitches in the front and back panel and reattach the yarn. And in these very first stitches, go through the front and the back panel, the first stitches, and make a single crochet. So we will do the sewing with single crochets, and remember this side where we are working right now is going to be the wrong side of the work. So make single crochets across through the front and the back panels. So once you get to the end, you can cut the yarn and fasten off. And that is it for the strap. Now for the side, we will do the same thing. These are my first stitches where I started the panels from. I will insert my crochet hook in each of them and do the exact same thing that we did for the straps. So reattach the yarn, and in the very first stitches where we reattach the yarn, do a single crochet. Oops. Okay, like that. Do a single crochet and continue with single crochets in each row through the front and back panel, and make sure your panels are well aligned so that you go through the same rows in the front and the back panels, and that will be it. So you continue with single crochets like this until you reach the armpit, the place where we the row before the first decreases in the armpit. I reached the armpit, which is the row before the first decrease. Now I can fasten off. Good. It is almost finished. We have the top almost ready. You have to tuck in these ends, and for me, I would like to hide this space that is created in the middle because of the v-neck that I started. I have the same thing at the back as well, and I want to hide this space a little bit, so I will cut a piece of yarn, just a little piece, something like this, so not too long. Yeah, and I'll pass it under the hole. So under the hole here I have a stitch under it. I'll pass the piece of yarn that I just got. You can do it with a yarn needle if you are more comfortable with it. So pass the piece of yarn through it make a knot. You see that the hole closes a little bit. I'll also do it a second time, so I will pass the piece once again under this space. Oopsie. And tie a second knot. So that way then the hole is a little bit closed. I'll now use the yarn needle to hide the tails. So if you have a hole like I do and you want to hide it, then you can use the same technique to hide it in the front and at the back as well. Oops. Exactly. So now you can hide it nicely and the space is no longer there. I'll do the same thing in the second side. So that is it. I enjoyed making this easy and quick top. I enjoyed more wearing it on the day of my defense. I was very proud wearing a self-made top. I received a lot of compliments about it. Thank you if you watched the tutorial until here. I wish to see you in the next tutorial to show you a new project. Please hit the notification button, subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you were able to reproduce it as well, how you found the final results. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.